What's up, the world? This is your boy Tommy Mav, and I came to basically give you guys my thoughts on Heat 1 win first. I mean the Lakers game 1 win and what I think it means, and also the whole stupidity about the GOAT conversation. Okay, first and foremost, the Lakers Heat game, I don't think it was an indication of much of anything. Do I think next game is going to be a blowout? No. The reason why this game was a blowout, I think, was because the Lakers were abnormally good from three. Like I said, I think this you can't. This is an anomaly game. The Lakers, they continue to shoot like this, and of course it's not. But from all indications show me they're not going to shoot like they were shooting last game. I mean, the Lakers just had a super hot shooting night, and not just LeBron. I mean, LeBron actually had an off shooting night. Everybody else was on, so LeBron really didn't have to do much of anything. People were burying threes from all over the place, and before you look up, it was 30 points. They had. I know a lot of people was talking when the Heat were down 13, but I never really even looked at it that way. It's like for some reason the first quarter is just like evaporates leads. I don't know why the leads evaporate so fast in the first quarter than they do in like other quarters. But in like the first quarter, it's like leads don't stay long. Like I've seen people who was like it'd be like 28-8, and then by the end of the quarter it'll be like 28-24. For some reason, the first quarter is having a lead in the first quarter in the NBA doesn't really mean much of anything. So I never really was looking at it like that when he jumped out to that 12 or 13 point lead. It looked like, the Lakers just were kind of off at the beginning. Their shots, not even their shots, they were like barely missing easy shots. And then as time went by, you kind of see, the Lakers kind of lock in. And people always get it twisted. They think the Lakers lock in on offense, but they don't. When the Lakers lock in, they lock in on defense. Then they start to cause turnovers, and then once you start to cause turnovers, once they get you on a turnover, they start to get out and run. Once they start to get out and run, you can't. They're too big. They're too fast. You can't stay with them. So the Miami Heat just aren't big enough to stay with them when they start doing it. And then when they go on the half court offense, all they really have is Bam Adebayo. They can't really Tyler Hero. As good as he is on offense, he's not really that great of a defender. So LeBron James was kind of getting his pick, like him. And if they rolled off of him, or if they tried to stay with him, then they just passed it to someone else that he knew how to match up on Hero or that guy. So, or the little short number 55. I don't know why they stopped playing none. The Miami Heat. None it was great throughout the entire year, and then they got in the playoffs. They just stopped using, which I think was incredibly ignorant. When you have a young talent like that, you need all the experience you can get. Goran Dragic has been great, but he's used to coming off the bench. There was no need to put him in the starting lineup. Because it kind of took away from their second unit, and you see what happens now. The second unit comes in, and it's like, okay, we're gonna make the focal point Tyler Hero, but Tyler Hero's still kind of young, so he's not really working like I feel like he should work coming off the bench. He's not really strong enough to carry the scoring load. It would make it a lot easier on him if you brought him in with someone like Dragic. I think having none in the first team allowed, like Dragic is a great 3-point shooter, but he's not a knockdown 3-point shooter. I think none is more of a matchup problem for a big than Dragic is. Dragic is more of a power driver than he is a finesse driver. So he can get to the cup, but he usually has to bully his way in, and you're not doing that against the Lakers. They're too big, they're too fast, and they're too quick. They're gonna get out in front of you and cause all types of problems. Same thing Tyler Hero realized. These guys are very fast, they're quick, and they're very athletic. I thought Tyler Hero played an okay game, but all in all, I just don't really think the Heat are a good matchup for the Lakers. I didn't think they would be a good matchup for the Lakers because they're just not that big. The biggest problem, people that were going to present the biggest problem for them were always going to be the Nuggets, because the Nuggets have a lot of bodies they can throw at LeBron. Um, the Rockets were never going to stop them because they're just not big enough. They're not big enough to stop LeBron and AD. You go to the Trailblazers. They the one who gave the Lakers somewhat problems too at the beginning, but they just weren't big enough. All they really had was Sabonis, and after they really split the fact that he can't come out and guard anybody, it kind of messed them up, even with all the scoring they had. And a lot of people talking junk, and this gets me around to the broader discussion, because what I'm hearing now all of a sudden is LeBron, he'll be 4-7 in the finals. He'll be 4-6 in the finals. It's a joke. People like that are the type of people that they the whole series they're hoping for LeBron to lose. From the time he steps on the court, they're hoping every time he steps on that he loses, right? But LeBron rarely ever disappoints, right? They have to keep going back to 2011 in that Mavs series, in which I'll say this till the end of my time. I think LeBron did that on purpose. I think LeBron knew if they won that Dwayne Wade was going to get MVP. And I think he did not want to win knowing that, because that was so abnormally not LeBron. LeBron didn't shoot. LeBron didn't do anything. In my mind, I think LeBron knew that if the Heat won, Dwayne Wade was going to get MVP, and he was going to be. It was going to be forever known. It was going to be forever known that they played and Dwayne Wade got MVP of his first championship. So I don't think I think deep down LeBron didn't want that, because that was so abnormally not LeBron in that Mavericks series. LeBron never. It seemed like he just didn't care. It was one of the worst performances. He kept saying, well, I'm playing defense. I'm like, nah, LeBron, yeah, you playing defense, but, bro, you ain't even trying to score. You're not even trying to pass. He was abnormally playing the game. He was getting the ball going over in the corner. And I, to this day, think it was because he knew Dwayne Wade was going to win that finals, which I think is selfish. But I do think that's why he did it. But like I said, that's just a guess. It could just be the Dallas Mavericks had him pegged, and he really had nowhere to go until he became more headstrong about forcing his game. Because I think LeBron at the beginning was easy to come out of his game. He was easy to get into passing. And that's what teams generally want to do. They want to get him to pass the ball. They want to put as much pressure on it, double teams, whatever they can. They want to swing it at him and watch him try to find a way to navigate it through passing. And LeBron, man, is all too amicable about adhering to that. But the whole narrative now, one thing I hate mostly about the narrative between LeBron and Michael Jordan is the cocky assumption, right? The people who are Michael Jordan fans know they hear just as many people say LeBron is the GOAT, right? That's why they're always mad. But when you talk to them, they act as if it's somehow a foregone conclusion that everybody thinks that Michael Jordan's the GOAT. But when you actually pay attention to what people who are in the demographic who are younger than a certain age, there are more people who believe LeBron's the GOAT. And the first thing they'll say, well, they don't understand basketball. Well, that's great and all, but the people before you was saying you didn't understand basketball. That's why you were saying that Michael Jordan was the greatest. You have to be further removed or further. You have to be either way before or way after a generation for you to respect the talent in it, right? Somebody like a Big O, Oscar Robertson. Him watching Michael Jordan had to be the most annoying shit in the world. Like, you're a guy who is a walking triple-double. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything great. And then you watch a guy who's just chunking up a bunch of shots, and then people calling him the GOAT. And in the back of your mind, you were thinking, I could have done that shit. Like, what? Like, I'm trying to figure out why you guys are so impressionable about this whole he's the GOAT thing, because he scores a lot of points. I do not think scoring a lot of points is that big of a deal. So to me, I think when you're a guy like the Big O, he's probably like, what the hell is this? So because his generation, you had to do everything. You know what I'm saying? You had to be a rebounder, you had to be a passer, you had to be a defender. You know what I'm saying? You basically had to do everything. And now you got this guy who's just chunking up a bunch of shots and doing fancy dunks, and now all of a sudden he's the GOAT. It's like, why is he the GOAT? Because he can put on a commercial that makes you believe he's the GOAT? I mean, because really all he's doing is shooting a lot of shots. And I'm thinking, I know Big O was thinking in his mind, like, dude, I could have done that. Hell, Wilt did that and did it better. Wilt scored 100 points. So he's not, you know what I'm saying? Kareem got more points than Michael Jordan. It blows my mind, man. It's like nobody, like I said before, people love to tout Michael Jordan, but they can't tell you what he was the best at. Was he the best scorer? No. Was he the best defender? No. Was he the best shooter? No. Was he the best rebounder? No. Was he the best passer? No. What was he the best at? Oh, he was the best at having the best team. Okay, good for you. That shit doesn't make you the greatest. Because you had 3 All-Stars playing against small guards and 1 other All-Star does not make you. And anybody who's saying that, I'm lying, point it out. Suns, Barkley, KJ. Celtics, Supersonics, Peyton, Kemp. Jazz, Malone, Stockton. Trailblazers, Terry Porter, Clyde Drexler. You can't. He doesn't beat anybody that has multiple All-Stars. Every time he played a team with multiple All-Stars, he lost those games. Unless he had more All-Stars than the team he played. 2 times he played teams that had more All-Stars than him, he lost. That was the Pistons and the Magic. He lost both of those games. So in my opinion, it feels like people go around saying that they want to believe, and then they somehow, well, we all understand, Joe. Oh no, you're a geezer, dude. You're an old dude who sits around and memorialize Michael Jordan as this untouchable thing. And the truth of the matter is, you wouldn't, no matter what anybody did, you would never say that they were good as Jordan. You know why? Because you can't make yourself 6 again. You can't make yourself 6-year-old sitting down watching with glee, basically looking at something that someone told you was a superhero, when in all actuality he was just a guy who shot a lot of shots. Oh, this one has anybody who walks around saying LeBron has an asterisk next to his name was somebody who was rooting for him to lose so they could say he lost. Now they're angry because he won't lose, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. We can't do anything about the fact that this guy's winning. But in their hearts, like I said before, it's like the Republican-Democrat thing. If LeBron does anything great, there has to be a reason for it, because he's not great. Michael Jordan does anything, then everything else around him is inconsequential, because Michael Jordan is great. So if Michael Jordan wins titles, it's not because he had more All-Stars and more generational talent than anybody else. It was because Michael Jordan is better than everybody else. Well, LeBron wins because he had a bunch of great players on his team. It blows your mind, right? At least you can say that about LeBron people. They at least give Michael Jordan credit for being great, right? The thing about Jordan fans is they like to say LeBron is not even good, which to me is just screams of a dick riding hater, right? It's like okay, you can say that you don't like LeBron, but sit up there and say LeBron is not good. It's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got his team to 10 finals. How's he? I wouldn't even put him in my top 10. That's because you're a fucking idiot. Because there's only one other person who's been to 10 finals. So to sit up there and stand up there and say you would take away from him because he didn't win every final that he was in, only proves how fucking stupid you are. But anyway, I just wanted to say that because I'm so sick and tired of these idiots. Please comment. Let me know what you think. All right, y'all. Peace.